So is your child struggling to recite the Quran fluently, or your child is just getting started? But right now, or your child has been learning, but they are stuttering, they are doing guesswork to pronounce the words of the Quran, or maybe they're just avoiding the Quran time altogether, and you want to know this is not because your child is lazy. I would like to know that your child is not lazy, and it's not because they cannot learn or they don't have the capacity to learn the Quran. It because many times we've been doing the Quran learning in a way that never designed for them. Today, inshallah, I'm going to be showing you how you as a parent can take decision right from today to help your child now start learning to recite the Quran fluently and getting them excited with the Quran. As a parent myself, over the last 6 years, I've helped parents like you who have had kids struggle to read the Quran fluently, who have had kids who do not get motivated with the Quran classes, who have kids who are frustrated with Quran lessons, but right now their kids can recite the Quran. And I know how it will feel like you as a parent seeing your child not connected to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're worried maybe this gap will continue forever, and you have that deep regret in your heart that you want them to connect with the Quran, but they're not actually making it work. So today I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do right now and why your child are actually struggling. And it's not even their fault. A lot of us think the kids are not serious, or they are lazy, or their capacity, their brain cannot withstand learning Arabic. It's not because of that. There are certain things that needs to be done to get kids to learn, anyone to learn, to get excited to learn to recite the Quran. My name is Imam Muhammad Amin. I'm the founder and also a tutor here at Mahir Academy. For the last 6 years, our academy has helped more than 300 students, now counting up to 400 students that will sign up and help them learn to achieve Quran reading fluency. So if it's you right now that have your child that's struggling, be it your child has been learning for many years, they're having issues with forgetting what they're learning, or maybe your child is having issues with motivation, or maybe they're just getting frustrated learning the Quran altogether, I'm going to give you and share more light on why that it's happening to your child specifically and how you can help them from today to get them over this problem. So stay with me for the next few minutes where I explain all this to you, and you can grab your own lessons and way to help your child deeply connect with the Quran without you stressing on that too much. One of the biggest reasons why your child is not really excited to be in the Quran classes is what I call the environment problem. So if your child is not really motivated to learn the Quran or not wanting to go to Quran classes, you should think about the other school that your child goes to. They feel so excited to be there. Why do they feel excited to go to school, and why are they not really excited to learn or to attend Quran classes, be it even in the masjid or be it on site? Many of the kids who learn, mostly those who learn online, a lot of parents these days, we kind of make it easy on ourselves. We cannot take the kid to masjid or the masajid that even really far away from us, make them learn online, which is a good revolution. It's amazing. It's awesome. This never happened in the past, but it's a good thing. But sometimes we do it the wrong way. We're not doing those online classes the way the kids will learn. It's not designed for them. It's designed for adults. People actually teach Quran class that way. So the first thing that we need to look into as a parent is the environment in which your child is learning. How is it going? Is the class exciting? Is it motivating? Is it engaging? Or does it lead to your child getting so much anxiety and getting poor retention, or they're not feeling connected to the class? Some of you guys, you send kids to masajid and you have about 2 or even 1 teacher attending to 20-30 kids at the same time. There's no that connection. The teacher is just there. They're not really helping those kids to get corrected on the issues they have, because they're gonna spend 5-10 minutes with each student, and maybe some kids will not even get to read or practice anything. Allah mentioned in the Quran that we should learn and recite the Quran in a measured recitation. So you don't want your child just to learn anyhow. It needs to be measured and correct. And so what you need to do as a parent today to solve the problem of the environment your child is learning, and this is really going to be breeding lack of motivation in your child. And if you cannot get your child to get excited to learn the Quran, that's a big problem. I have a parent who joined our program a few months ago. It's now a year right now, and the first thing he told me then was, my child is not really excited to be in Quran classes. So they've tried different online classes, And this child is really not wanting to be there. Whenever it's time to be in Quran classes, he's going to drag his feet and do not want to go, or do not want to attend online. And so, of course, alhamdulillah, now he can recite the Quran himself, alhamdulillah, and he's already memorizing. What you can do as a parent to help your child overcome that challenge of the motivation that's related to environment problem is that you need to actually, at home, even without thinking of getting your child into a Quran class online, if you as a parent, you have the capacity to teach your child, to impact them with Quran learning and lessons, I'll advise you to create a specific day in a week. Okay, your child is not motivated. Get some other kids in the neighborhood, your friends, have them come over and have some kind of Quran learning activity with fun. This is how you can get it done. Or if you cannot do that yourself, you need to find a program that can get your child in an active learning environment so they get excited. So if you'd like to know more about how to create an active learning environment for a child, there's a link below this video. You can reach out to me. There's a video I've recorded about that as well. I can share that video with you on how you can create an active learning environment for a child or for your own student if you're a teacher who is teaching students how to recite the Quran, right? The second problem, which a lot of us would not think about being the big problem, aside from your child getting excited, if that's working, your child now is feeling excited to be in Quran class, the class is getting fun, right? That's a good thing, right? Your child is getting excited, the class is fun, they love to be there, then what next? That's not enough. The other challenge is the habit gap. So when your child is doing it, they love it when it's time to do it, but you see, they're not consistent. So there's a gap in the habits consistency. Many kids do not fail because they lack the ability to reach reading fluency. They mostly fail because of inconsistency, fragmented classes. I know a lot of you parents, when you have your kids to learn online, you're going to tell the teacher, oh, I'm not available right now. Can I postpone the class till this time? Can I postpone the class till that time? What you're actually telling your child is there that the Quran learning is not really essential. It's not important. It can be delayed to another time. It's not really compulsory to make it work the time it needs to work. So when you have this kind of mindset, or you having your child learning that kind of system where a teacher is not joining the classes, or your child is not going there often, you will not get results. Okay, you will not get that fluency, and your child will not be connected to it. So, meaning some of you all want your kids to only learn the Quran on the weekends. It's not a bad idea, but you pushing it to the weekends is telling a story, or is giving your child or your kids some impression that, okay, the Quran should not be done when I'm actually going to school. It should be done when I'm not in school. So they have that mentality. Even if they learn to recite the Quran, eventually with that method, they're not connected to it because they felt it's because mommy want me to do it. So we need to be really mindful, parents, the way we treat Quran learning consistencies. I know sometimes it's the teachers who teach your kids who are not joining the classes. Then if you have kids in that kind of program, it's time to move them out and get them a consistent learning format. So where the kids will be attended to weekly and there's a structure that will be consistent. So what you need to do right now is you need to create a non-negotiable Quran learning habit for your child. It's non-negotiables, right? These are your non-negotiable things they need to do weekly. Imagine a lot of you don't want your kids to miss swimming practice. You don't want your kids to miss this and that practice. I see some parents, sometimes the kids go to swimming classes or the kids go to sport and all that. They don't want to miss that, but they want to miss the Quran class. They'll say, Imam, please, or teacher, please, my child is going to go to swimming today. Can we skip the Quran class? Subhanallah. That's a bad message you're sending to your child that, okay, girl or boy, Quran class can stay. We need to go to swimming. Meaning Quran lesson is not important. Aside from the mentality you're building in your child, you are also creating that gap. So the habit consistency gap will make your child learn the Quran for many years. So many of you have had your kids learn the Quran for 5 years, and still here your child cannot recite on their own, right? That's not great. And sometimes it's not because your child are not smart. They're so smart. They're doing great in school, but because we have that habit gap, and then the kids is not consistently doing what they need to do weekly. So we created a system in our program here. If you're interested in that, There's going to be a link below this video. You can check to see how we create consistent learning habits. We have a tracking system. I've done a lot of videos, so you can check below this video and reach out to us. You see the link below this video if you'd like to know how to create a learning habit that will be consistent, that will not take too much of your time. Okay, so we need to use trackers. You need to have trackers. So in schools, your kids go to school, imagine they have classes, they have homework, and everything is tracked and monitored. In Quran lessons, you need to do that. So that way, how often do you violate your own non-negotiables Quran habits? That's all you need to do. So let's say you're going to be having 3 classes every week, or you have 4 classes in a week, for instance. You want to check yourself to see how often do you get consistent with this. So if you're getting consistent less than 80% of the time, meaning you're not actually fulfilling your own promise to create non-negotiable Quran habits. So try to make it consistent. That's kind of my own advice, and we'd like to learn more about that. There's going to be a link below this video. You can reach out to us. My number is going to be below this video, where you can send me a message. I'll reach out to us on WhatsApp, so we can, myself and the team will be able to reach out to you to give you this video about how to build the right Quran learning habits. The other issue which I felt a lot of parents we need to be aware of is many students, they go to Quran classes. So let's say your child is now they're getting excited. So now you're getting consistent to make sure they join the classes. You're doing that. But what next is about the strategy that your child they're using to teach your child. Sometimes, I had some parents, they say, my child has been attending a class for almost 8 months, and they always join the classes more than 80% of the time. But something could be missing as well, not from your own end anymore. It's now about the way the teacher teaches the student, or what resources or what curriculum it's being used to teach a child. See, these are things we need to look into, and that's why I said, one of my videos a few weeks ago, I said the method that we use in teaching Quran is the one that's broken. Okay, a lot of people right now, they actually focus just on the sound. Oh, the child can recite the sound, but there's no any deeper connection to the letters. Oh, so many kids just thought, learn to recite. They jump to Juz' Amma, before even mastering the letters. So you see many kids, they can recite off heart some ayat of the Quran. And so very funny, some parents say, oh, my child can recite the Quran. When they come to the call with me, it's like, wait, your child can recite the Quran. Is it hifz? Is it memorization, or is it reading? We need to make a distinction. So if you want your child to memorize the Quran, I recommend personally that you want your child to learn to recite first, or as they learn to memorize. But doing it one thing at a time is the best. So have them learn to recite the Quran, master the tajweed basic rules. They don't need to learn all the rules of tajweed in the beginning, but they need to master some of the basic ones that can get them to take any ayah in the Quran or any page from the Quran and read themselves, with confidence. So some kids, they memorize a lot of surahs, but get them to recite from the Quran, it's a nightmare. That way your child is not connecting. So what you need to do as a parent, and what we actually do in our program, is that we create a system called the Accelerated Quran System. We have a 10 module curriculum that over the last 6 years, it has really helped many students to get to recite themselves. So if you'd like to know more about that, there's a link below this video about the strategy or the curriculum that we use in a program that can help a child that's 5 years old, or 6 years old, or 7 years old, or 8 years old, or 10 years old to master the art of Quran recitation fluently. It's not magic. No one is born with that. You need to learn it. You need to learn it. Allah was getting the revelation of the Quran. Allah says, وَلَا تَعْجَلْ بِالْقُرْآنِ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يُقْضَى إِلَيْكَ وَحْيُهُ وَقُلْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Do not be in haste when the Quran is being recited to you. Salam was so scared that maybe whenever Jibril is bringing the Quran to him, he might forget what is being recited to. So he was really in haste to catch it and revise it. Allah cautioned him. Allah SWT will teach you. So you just ask Allah to increase your knowledge. What I'm saying is that you all need to learn. We all need to learn. So your child cannot just wake up and recite the Quran themselves. They need to get to learn to master the foundations. So the foundation is really important. The foundation of reading is really important. And so what you need to do is you need to make sure your child can master the letters of the Quran in all the shapes and forms that they exist, and know some of the short vowels and how to apply them, and learn things about the Shadda, not just memorizing the Qaida book. Don't get me wrong. You're not making your child a fluent Quran reciter by just getting them to learn the Qaida, Nuraniyya, Baghdadiyya, whatever Qaida you're using. That's out of it. Your child can just master those theory in those Qaida book. But the real recitation comes in when your child can have a digging practice from an ayah from the Quran, from a phrase from the ayah of the Quran, and they get practice as they move on. So if you'd like to know more about the strategy that you can have in place, so your student, if you're a teacher that's teaching your child Quran, I'd love to help you. Or if you're a parent that's already teaching your child as well, I've recorded some videos over the last few years about the strategy that we use in our accelerated Quran reading program. So if you're really interested in that, there's going to be a free video that I can share with you. So just kind of tap the link on my WhatsApp link below this video, and you will be able to connect with me, with my team, and we can send you that video if you couldn't find it on our YouTube channel. You should find it around the YouTube channel here about the strategy that we use in teaching Quran. But in case you couldn't find that video, just tap the link below this video, the WhatsApp link below this video. You can send me a message on WhatsApp and we're going to share that link with you, inshallah. Okay, so this is something you need to learn more about, how to design the structure, the strategy of teaching. So we, for instance, in the program, aside from the structure, we have a standard practice which is part of our strategy learning or learning strategy. One, the kids needs to build the skills. They need to build the foundation of the Tajweed concepts, the basic ones, and also they need to revise. The revision is consistent, and plus they need to transfer the skills. So this is the strategy. But if you'd like to know more about that, tap the link below this video to get access to that, and I'm going to share that with you, inshallah. So one of the other things that we need to understand as parents, as guardians, as teachers who teach Quran is the emotional blockade. Okay, that's the fourth point, right? Your child is not lazy, they're smart, but sometimes there's emotional blockade or blockages or obstruction, whatever you call it, from the parents. So they don't see the parents really connecting with them emotionally with the goal. Some parents want the kid to learn to recite the Quran, and over the last few weeks, I've talked about a lot of things about your own impact in the life of a child. Now today I'm talking about the structure, what your child really needs. You've learned and you've heard of what I've said about your own emotions, how you correct your child. This is all something that you need to think of. Celebrating their wins, getting them excited, not yelling or screaming, and making Quran time the best for them. So go watch those videos I've recorded earlier. I've done. So if you'd like to know more about our program, our accelerated Quran reading program, this is a formal program that can help students learn to recite the Quran. Tap the link below this video to sign up today. There's going to be a link where you put your information and watch a few minute video where I explain and break down the strategy and the system that we use, so you can book a one-on-one call with me to go deeper and get your child started. So if you'd like to know more, tap the link and get started. Okay, so going back to the training bag, the emotional blockade that we have on our kids, it's taking a toll on them. And sometimes we're not screaming, we're not yelling, but we're not supporting them enough. You're not supporting your child. What I mean by this? So meaning your child attended Quran classes, you're not giving them that support, that enthusiasm that you love what they're doing. Rewarding them with small gifts, no matter how small it is. This is what your child needs. We as teachers in the academy will provide those first three things I mentioned. We're going to get your child to learn in the right environment. We're going to get your child to get the right habit, to cover the gap of the habit, and get him to have the right strategy to learn. So a teacher can do that. Anyone that understands our accelerated Quran system can actually use that. But one thing that we cannot do and provide for your child is the emotional support that you need to give them from home. You need to give your child emotional support, and that they see you as a role model, and they see you as someone that can actually be looked up to, right? As a Muslim. Some parents, they're not role models for the kids to be Muslims. Some of the kids do not see their parents praying salah. Some of the kids do not see their parents ever reciting the Quran. They're not seeing them connecting to the religion. And so that way the kids feel sometimes that this is not needed. Provided my mom is a Muslim, my dad is a Muslim, but they cannot recite the Quran. So why do I need to do that? So these are all part of the emotion that I'm talking about. So even if you cannot recite yourself, it's not a taboo to start learning right now as an adult. So we do have an adult program as well, that's a self-paced adult program. Aside from the kids program, you can tap the link below this video. You see it's called the Quran Reading Fluency Accelerator course. It's just a program you can sign up and learn at your own pace the Tajweed concept and build skills. So pressing your child effort, emotionally connecting to what they're doing and giving them a word and celebrating each small milestones they achieve is amazing way to avoid emotional blockage. So they love to do it. So the last thing I'll mention, which is one thing you need to do right now, if your child is struggling to learn to recite the Quran, what I've been saying all this while, this is not a fault of your child. We control these kids. We determine what they need to do. We determine, oh, my child needs to do math training. They need to do coaching on this. They need to do dancing. Some of you do that for little girls. That's fine. You need to have your kids to learn this and that. You determine what they learn. So imagine if it's not part of your own plan to get them to learn to recite the Quran. You're going to be making a huge mistake. Especially when a child is still young right now, you have the ability to train them, to get them excited, to get them on that path of success in this dunya and for the day of Qiyamah as well. So the last thing you all need to do right now, which many people are actually found wanting on, which is lack of connection to purpose. Okay? Many kids do not see the benefit or any instant benefit or gratification from learning the Quran. And this is something that's really huge. We as parents, we as tutors, we as teachers, we as guardians, we need to actually live the life we want our kids to live. Many of us, if we don't actually live the life that we expect our kids to live, it's not going to work. And also sitting down your child and trying to connect the reason why they're learning to read the Quran to their life. Because many of these kids, like I mentioned in one of my training last week, they believe what they see. If they don't see something, you tell them in abstract, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't make sense. The only thing is to actually do it and be consistent and let them see it. You need to sit them down and talk about life and talk about the Quran and talk about the deen. So how many of you go, parents, be honest, when last do you sat down your child and talk about Allah with them? When last? So you sat down your child and say, okay, son, daughter, let's talk about Islam. Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever done that before? Even if you're not so much knowledgeable today, mashallah, there's a lot of resources. You can buy a book about the benefits of the Quran, the advantages of learning the Quran. There are a lot of books out there. Inshallah, next week I'm going to give you all, guidance on some books you can read. Even though you're not an expert tajweed teacher, you're not expert on your own. Like I said, we do have a self-paced adult course in our program that can help adults learn the basics of tajweed. That's something entirely. But I'm talking about how do you want to connect the learning of the deen and the Quran to something meaningful in the life of a child. You need to inspire them. Listen to lectures of scholars that you trust, but they need to be understanding of the meaning sometimes. Maybe you do tafsir, which we try to do in our program, once in a week, teach the kid Islamic studies. But the thing is that when parents are involved in this with the kid, it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference, than a teacher. Okay, a teacher will do their best, but the kids spend most of the time with you. So get a book about the benefits of reciting the Quran, or read a hadith about the benefit of reciting Surah Al-Baqarah. Like Allah mentioned in the Quran, Allah says, كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ إِلَيْكَ مُبَارَكٌ لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ وَلِيَتَذَكَّرَ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. So the Quran is a book, a blessed book. أنزلناه, we revealed it to you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mubarak, this book is full of blessing, meaning the blessings that we can feel and the ones we cannot feel, that just about our heart, that connects to the heart. And that says, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِ. This book is meant to ponder over. We need to ponder upon the meaning of the content of the Quran, not just to read. Like, imagine someone saying, oh, I'm sick, I'm gonna get Tylenol or whatever analgesics you want to get, and you keep reciting the name of that medicine. It's not gonna work. You're gonna have to swallow the medicine before it's gonna work, with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran, we need to have some deeper, thoughtful discussion with our kids, so connecting the Quran to their real life. So at this point, I know you've heard of this. If you need to take action today, let me give you a summary of what you need to take control over today. So the first thing, you need to fix the learning environment for your child to get them excited. You cannot keep pushing your child and forcing them to do this and learn. You need to fix the learning environment. 2, you need to help them and ensure they build consistent Quran learning habits. That's about the time they join the classes, the consistency in doing their homework, and being on time. Then you need to use the right strategy. So for instance, in our program, there's a video I've recorded on how we strategize our Quran teaching, building the skills, to transfer the skills, to get to revise the lessons. So you need to have the right strategies and approach, curriculum to teach, And plus, you need to protect emotional confidence, connect with your child with all the mind. And the fifth thing is you need to connect the learning of the Quran to a purpose. Why are they doing it? You feel connect with them emotionally, but you need to connect the Quran learning to real life examples of things they can actually reckon with. So this is my own tips for you all today. So if you really want your child to experience the transformation of reading themselves the Quran in the next 16 weeks, like hundreds of students on the program have actually achieved, alhamdulillah, moving from not being motivated, moving from struggling to recite, and now they can recite themselves the Quran independently with confidence. Then I invite you to join our Accelerated Quran Reading program. There's going to be a link below this video as well. You can tap the link, you can send us a message in the WhatsApp. Myself and the team will respond to you and will give you all the information you need. But most importantly, to get a child signed up into a program, if you're not in a program yet, you need to tap the link below this video and reach out to me, book a one-on-one call with me. So you will only be able to book a one-on-one call with me. Of course, I have about 5 or 10 spots available weekly, less than 10 spots available to speak with interested parents every week. But before you can even book that call with me, you need to watch a training which I put once you book in our website. Once you sign up today, you will see that training. You need to watch that to understand what the program is about, and then you'll be able to talk to me and book a one-on-one call with me, inshallah. So subscribe to our channel to stay tuned to all these videos. I love to see you in our program, and I hope inshallah our kids will be the lovers of the Quran and building more deeper connection with the Quran. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them the coolness of our eyes. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.